Hello and welcome to my walkthrough of the Pearson Edexcel GCSE June 2024 Mathematics Paper 2 Calculator paper for Foundation Tier. Let's jump straight into it. Question number 1. Write the following numbers in order, starting with the lowest number. So we need the biggest minus number first, so minus 3. Followed by minus 1, as that's the only other minus number, and then it's just 2, 4, and 7. Question 2. Change 5,000 millilitres to litres. There's 1,000 millilitres in a litre, which means 5,000 millilitres gives us 5 litres. Question 3. Write 31 out of 100 as a decimal. That is just going to be 0.31. Question number 4. Write down the multiple of 7 that is between 30 and 40. Multiples of 7 are 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. The one between 30 and 40 is just 35. And question number 5, complete the statement below to make it correct. Something times m is 2m. That's just going to be 2. Question number 6, Ben sells houses. The pictogram shows information about the number of houses Ben sold in each of the first 3 months of last year. Part A, write down the number of houses Ben sold in January. We know that each full square is worth 4, so we have 4 here as well, and that's half of a full square, so that's going to be 2. So the number of houses he sold in January is just 10, 4 plus 4 plus 2. In April, Ben sold 11 houses. Show this information on the pictogram. All I need to do here is draw a full square for 4, full square for 8, and now we need to represent 3, and I'm going to do this by doing a bit like that, 3/4 of a square. That gives us 11, 4 plus 4 plus 3. Ben sold a total of 60 houses in the first 5 months of last year. Work out the number of houses he sold in May. So we have 10 in January, we already know that. We have 4 plus 4 plus 1 for February, so 9. We have 4 plus 4 plus 4 for March, so that's 12. We already know it's 11 in April, so we have 42 for the first 4 months of the year. 60 minus 42 is the number that has to be in for May. And that's our answer. Question 7. Measure the length of this line. Give your answer in centimetres. So I'm doing this on an iPad, but all you need to do is line your ruler up, put the 0 at the left-hand side of the line, and you should get 8.7 centimetres. But the mark scheme accepts anywhere between 8.5 and 8.9. In a similar way, you measure the size of the angle marked X, line up your protractor so that the baseline is along one of either this line or this line, so you can measure X. The answer you should get is 67 degrees. Again, the mark scheme gives you a little bit of leeway either side. And part C, in the space below, draw a hexagon. They're looking for any 6-sided shape here, as it doesn't say a regular hexagon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excuse my wiggly lines. Question number 8. The points A and B are shown on the grid. Write down the coordinates of the point A. So we want the x coordinate first, then the y coordinate. So we have 2, 1. Part B. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. So to go from A to B, we are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares down, and 1, 2, 3, 4 across. So to find the midpoint, all we have to do is do half of that. So we want to go 3 squares down, so that's here, and 2 squares across. So this is our midpoint just here. It's going to be 0, minus 2. Part C, on the grid, mark with a cross the point with coordinates minus 4, 2. So minus 4 on the x-axis, 2 on the y-axis, over here, and we're going to label that C. Question 9. Anil has a job as a driver. He is paid for each mile he drives. He is also paid expenses. 1 week, he writes down the distance readings from his car. Start of the week, end of the week. For this week, he is paid 47p for each mile he drives. He is also paid expenses of £80. Work out the total amount he is paid. Give your answer in pounds. So all we have to do here is do the miles at the end of the week minus the miles at the start of the week to work out how many he's done. 9 take 1 is 8, 7 take 4 is 3, 8 take 2 is 6, and then these stay as they are. So he has done 638 miles. So we're going to do 638 multiplied by 47p. I'll do that on my calculator. 638 times 0.47 is £299.86. But we know he's also been paid £80 expenses. So we'll just add that on and we get £379.86. Doesn't say the nearest pounds or anything, so we'll keep it like that. Question number 10. Anita throws a coin 3 times. Each time the coin can land on heads or tails. List all the possible outcomes. So it could be heads, 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 tails, heads, tails, heads, heads, tails, tails, and then the same backwards. So tails, heads, heads, tails, heads, tails, 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 heads, and tails, tails, tails. You should have 8 different outcomes. Question 11. Majid has a spinner. Majid is going to spin the arrow. The arrow can land on 1, 2, or 3. He says the probability will land, the arrow will land on 2 is 1/3 because the spinner has 3 sections. Is he correct? You must give a reason for your answer. No, he is not correct. The segments are not the same size. So probabilities are not equal. That's all we need to say for that because it's 1 mark. Question number 12. Sarah buys 24 bars of chocolate. 2/3 of the bars are white chocolate. The rest are milk. Each milk chocolate has a weight of 35 grams. Work out the total weight of the milk chocolate bars that Sarah buys. 2/3 of them are white, which means 16 of them are white, as 1/3 of 24 is 8, so 2/3 is 16. The rest are milk, which means we have 8, as 24 minus 16 is 8. So all we need to do is 8 multiplied by 35 grams. Do that on my calculator. 8 times 35, we get 280 grams. Question 13. Simplify 2c times 3d. You just do the numbers times each other first, so we have a 6, and then it's just put the c and the d next to each other, so 6cd. T equals x plus 2y, x equals 3 and y equals minus 4. Work out the value of t. So we'll replace x with 3. We'll replace y with minus 4. And we're just going to do 3. 2 times minus 4 is minus 8. So 3 minus 8 is just minus 5. Question 14. On Monday, Lizzie cycled 36 kilometres in 3 hours. Part A, work out Lizzie's average speed. If she did 36 kilometres in 3 hours, if we divide both sides by 3, we work out her speed per hour. So 12 kilometres per hour. 36 divided by 3. On Tuesday, Lizzie cycled 36 kilometres at an average speed of 16 kilometres per hour. She says that the total time she cycled on Monday and Tuesday was less than 5 hours 20 minutes. Is Lizzie correct? You must show how you get your answer. So we already know she's cycled 3 hours on Monday, so we're only really interested in Tuesday. So 36 divided by 16, which I'll do on my calculator, is 2.25. So that means since she's done 36 kilometres at 16 kilometres per hour, that is the time taken on Tuesday. 0.25 of an hour is 15 minutes. Therefore, 2 hours 15 cycled on Tuesday, plus 3 hours on Monday gives 5 hours 15 total. So, yes, Lizzie is correct, as it's less than 5 hours 20 minutes. Question number 15. £3,500 is invested in a bank for 6 years. The bank pays simple interest at a rate of 2.5% per year. Work out the total amount of simple interest. All we need to do here is 3,500 times 0.025. So work it out for 1 year. Gives us 87.5, which I've done on my calculator. And then they've said it's going to be for 6 years. It's simple interest. £525 is our answer. Question 16. You can use this graph to change between ounces and grams. Change 6 ounces to grams. 6 ounces is here. Follow the line up to here. We can see that it's 50 between these two across the 10 squares, so each square must be 5. We are 1 square below the midpoint. The midpoint would be 175. Each square is 5, therefore that's 170 grams. Part B, change 1 kilogram to ounces. This does not go up to a kilogram, so we're going to have to extrapolate. It's a straight line, it's not a curve. So if we look at 100 grams, it's about here. And if we look down, this is going to be 3. 0.2 is going to be each tiny little square, as it's 5 squares for 1. So that is exactly between the second and the third square. So that's going to be exactly 3.5 for 100. So 1,000 or 1 kilogram is 10 times that. 3.5 times 10 is 35. Question 17. Here is a triangle ABC. The region R consists of all points inside the triangle that are less than 4 centimeters from A and closer to C than B. On the diagram, show by shading the region R. So what we would need to do here is you have to draw a circle from A, radius 4 centimeters. So let's say it's about this big. And then you're going to draw it with your compasses, so it's going to look a bit like this. It's a horribly drawn circle. You're also going to need to take the midpoint of B and C, as we know that it's got to be closer to C than B, and you're going to draw a perpendicular bisector up here like this. Now you can tell how poorly I've drawn this circle, because I'm pretty sure that's not how that's going to look. I'm just going to redraw this. It's going to look more like this, I would have thought. So you have a region, R, which is closer to C than B, and is also less than 4 centimeters from A. So, like I say, you will do this with your appropriate compasses and ruler in the exam, but that's just to give you a rough idea of the correct way that's supposed to look. Question 18. Mrs. Simpson organised a school trip for 66 children. The total cost was £1,800. The school paid 56% of the total cost. The rest of the total cost was divided equally between the 66 children. Work out how much money each child paid. So we're going to do 1,800, which is the total cost of the trip. We know that the school paid 56, which leaves 44% for the children to pay. So I'm going to do 1,800 times 0.44 to work out how much is left to pay. This would be the equivalent of timesing by 44 dividing by 100. We get £792. We have to divide that £792 by the 66 children, which I'll do on my calculator. It's going to be £12 per child to pay. Question 19. Work out the value of the square root of 35.2 plus 1.7 cubed over 4.6 squared minus 8.91. So whenever I had a question like this, I would write down my section so I don't get jumbled up with brackets and everything. So if I do the top first on my calculator, I'm going to do square root. I'm going to do it like this so you can see. Square root of open brackets 35.2 plus 1.7 cubed. That's exactly what I'm going to put into my calculator. Close brackets. And I get 6.333482454. And then I'm going to do that number divided by open brackets, 4.6 squared minus 8.91, close brackets. And I get 0.51701897959, as it wants all the numbers on your calculator display. Part B, write your answer to part A correct to two significant figures, 0.52, as the 7 rounds up to a 2. Question 20. ABC is a right-angled triangle. Work out the length of CB. Give your answer correct to three significant figures. Going to use Pythagoras here. So we're going to say AB squared plus BC squared equals AC squared, as AC is the hypotenuse. So we have 10 squared plus BC squared, which is the same as CB, equals 19 squared. 19 squared on my calculator is 361. We know 10 squared is 100. Therefore, BC squared equals 261. Square root of 261 on my calculator is, therefore, BC equals 16.15549442. Question wants it in three significant figures. It's going to be 16.2. Question 21. Write 90 as a product of its prime factors. So 90 at the top. That can go 3 times 30. 3 is prime, so we're done there. This can be 3 times 10. 3 is prime, so we're done there. 10 can be 2 times 5, and 2 and 5 are both prime. So we just have 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. A equals 2 squared times 3. B equals 2 times 3 squared. Write down the lowest common multiple of A and B. So we have 2 squared times 3 is just 12. 2 times 3 squared is just 18. So 12 times table is 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. 18 times table is 18, 36, 54. We can stop there because we can already see 36 is the lowest common multiple of both these two numbers. Question 22. The number of hours H that some machines take to make 5,000 bottles is given by H equals 72 over N, where N is the number of machines. On Monday, 6 machines made 5,000. On Tuesday, 9 machines made 5,000. The machines took more time to make the bottles on Monday than Tuesday. How much more time? Monday, hours equals 72 over 6, 12. Tuesday, hours equals 72 over 9, 8. 12 minus 8, 4 extra hours. Question 23. There are only red discs, blue discs, and yellow discs in a bag. There are 24 yellow discs in the bag. Mel is going to take, at random, a disc from the bag. The probability that the disc will be yellow is 0.16. The number of red discs compared to the number of blue discs is a 5:4 ratio. Work out the number of red discs in the bag. Okay, so we have 24 yellow, and the probability of that is 0.16. We have the number of red compared to the number of blue is 5:4. So out of the remaining discs, we know that 5 out of 5 plus 4, which is 9, is going to be red. So let's rewrite that, 5 over 9. Again, this is only out of the remaining discs if we take the yellow ones out. So 4 nights are going to be blue. So 0.16 probability being yellow means that we must have 24 divided by 0.16 will get us the total number of discs in the bag, which is 150. Then what we're going to do is 150 minus 24 gives us 126 blue plus red discs. We want 5 ninths of 126. 5 over 9 times 126 on my calculator gives us 70 red discs. Question 24. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus x. So when x is minus 1, minus 1 squared is 1, minus 1 gives us 2. 2. 1 squared is 1, minus 1 gives us 0. 3 squared is 9, minus 3 gives us 6. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals x squared minus x for values of minus 2 to 3. So we're going to have minus 2, 6 is going to be just here. Minus 1, 2 is going to be here. 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 2, and 3, 6. And we're just going to do a freehand, horrible line. There we go. So that's roughly the right shape, even though I've missed half the x's. Use your graph to find estimates for the solution of the equation x squared minus x equals 4. So we need to look at when y equals 4, which is about here. So our solutions are going to be roughly here and here. So I've got that as minus 1.5. If you just read it down the graph. And 2.5 on the other side. There's a little bit of leeway in the mark scheme here because you've drawn this freehand and it's a little bit rough. Question 25. Andy, Luke, and Tina share some sweets in the ratio 1, 6, 14. Tina gives 3/7 of her sweets to Andy. Tina then gives 12.5% of the rest of her sweets to Luke. She says, now all three of us have the same number of sweets. Is she correct? So at the start, Andy had 1 out of 1 plus 6 plus 14 sweets, so that's 1 out of 21. That was Andy. Luke had 6 out of 21, and Tina had 14 out of 21. She gave 3/7 of her sweets to Andy, so 3/7 times 14 over 21. Just do that on my calculator. Times 14 over 21. It gives us 2/7, which is how many sweets Tina now gives to Andy. Therefore, Andy now has 1 over 21 plus 2/7. 2/7 is the same as 6 over 21, so he now has 7 over 21 sweets, which is a third. Tina now has 14 over 21 minus 2/7, which is 6 over 21. She now has 8 over 21 sweets. Luke still has the same. So then she gives 12.5% of the rest of her sweets to Luke. 12.5% is the same as 1/8. Therefore, 8 over 21 times 1/8 is the amount she gives to Luke. These 8 cancel. 121 given to Luke. Therefore, Andy has 7 over 21, or a third. Tina now has 8 over 21 minus 1 over 21, 7 over 21, a third. And Luke has 6 over 21 plus 1 over 21, which is also a third. So, yes, Tina is correct. Question 26. ABCD is a quadrilateral. All angles are measured in degrees. Show that ABCD is a trapezium. So, to be a trapezium, this needs to add up to 180, and this needs to add up to 180. So, if we do the full angles all added together need to add 360 to work out x, then we can use that to work out if they add up to 180. So we're going to say 2x plus 15 plus 4x plus 15 plus 4x plus 8 plus 3x minus 3. This should equal 360, as it's a quadrilateral. So if I look at just the x's, that's 13x. Just the numbers is 15, 30, 38, 35 equals 360. Therefore, 13x equals 325. On my calculator, I'll do 325 divided by 13. We get x equals 25. Then we'll say if 2x plus 15 plus 4x plus 15 equals 180, and 4x plus 8 plus 3x minus 3 equals 180, then trapezium. x equals 25. So 2x plus 15 is 65. 4x plus 15 is 115. And that does equal 180. 4x plus 8 is 108. 3x minus 3 is 3x plus 3 is 72. Also equals 180. So ABCD is a trapezium. Question number 27. ABC and DEF are two similar isosceles triangles. DE equals DF. Work out the length of DE. They're similar triangles, which means the angles are all going to be the same. We can see 6 is 4 times bigger than 1.5, so we can say that ED is 4 times smaller than AB. So I'm just going to say as 1.5 times 4 equals 6, then AB equals 4 times DE. Therefore, 8 equals 4 DE. Therefore, DE equals 2 centimeters. And the last question on the paper. The table shows information about the weights of 120 oranges. Find the class interval that contains the median. We have 120 oranges. The median is going to be the 60th term, or 60.5th, I believe it is. We have 34 in here, 29 in here, which 34 plus 29 gives us 63. So it's going to fall within this one here. And part B, calculate an estimate for the mean weight of the 120 oranges. Give your answers correct to 3 significant figures. To do this, we're going to take the midpoint of each of these class intervals and multiply it by the frequency. So that's going to be, I'll just put midpoint here, 75, 125, 175, 225, and 275. And then I'm going to say midpoint times frequency. Do this on my calculator. 75 times 34 is 2550. 125 times 29 is 3625. 27 times 175, 4725. 19 times 225, 4275. And 11 times 275, 3025. Add all these up, then we're going to divide by 120, and that will give us an estimate for the mean. So we'll add these up, 4275, 4725, just doing this on my calculator. 3625, 4725, 4275, and 3025. We get 18,200. 18,200, and so we're going to do 18,200 divided by 120, and we get 151.6. They wanted the 3 significant figures. 152 is our answer. And that brings us to the end of the paper. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, as ever, leave them below, and I'll catch you next time.